welcome. I'm Lee, and this is my postcard to you about my creative life. It's so nice to sit down and have a little chat with you. Apparently, quite a few of you have the same problems with marauding starlings. That seems to be a worldwide issue. Last time I spoke to you, I was at home in New Zealand and we were discussing bird feeders. So yes, this time I'm sat here sort of thinking I don't have a lot to talk about. I have pretty much been monogamous. Oh, I'm not going to be able to say that. I've only been working on one project. Been monogamous in my projects. And that is my Lieve Milena. I haven't been picking anything else up. I haven't even started another pair of socks. But as you can see, I've just been chugging away down the fronts of this cardigan. Actually, that's starting to look really cardigan-y. So yeah, that's really exciting. And I've actually stopped working on the front and back section of this cardigan in order to start working on the sleeves, because I'm trying to make the most of my yarn. And so once I get the sleeves done and about the right length, then I should just be able to make the body as long as I like. However, well, if you have been following me for a while, you know that my knitting process can be iterative, and I have so far made a number of sleeves. So here is the first one. I've got the ball tucked in there. It's still attached in case I need to make this a bit longer. So I started off by making a sleeve that was the same size as the size I'd chosen for the body, and then I put it on my arm and it was quite tight. I find this things to be like a design feature of a lot of things these days. The body will be oversized and then it has arms that have negative ease, which it's not something I enjoy wearing, and if I have something on underneath, is actually just downright annoying to me. So I don't know if you saw that, any part of that leap off here. Marshall was fully reclined on the beanbag and he's seen something to go and chase in the garden and had to dash off. So sorry about that. Okay, so I had knitted the sleeve and then put it on my arm and found it to be uncomfortably tight. So I ripped it back and started again in the larger size, having carefully consulted the pattern, and the cardigan is actually drop shouldered, so it should be really easy to, there is no arm side or armhole shaping. So basically I'm just attaching a straight edge to a straight edge. It should be really easy to adjust this to put a larger sleeve on. And so I made the larger size. I think it's going to come up to about there. It is it's not a loose sleeve, it does still have negative ease. There is a bit of positive ease here, which is what I prefer. And so I hope this is about where the drop shouldered bit is going to come to. Otherwise, because if it's a little bit higher up, it'll still have a little bit of positive ease there. And it's not going to be snug in my armpit, which is definitely not what you want, but that would mean that I just need to knit a bit more cuff, which I think will look okay. So with that in mind, I've got to the point with I'm leaving the yarn attached to this and just stuffing it in the cuff there so that I can adjust the length of the sleeve as need be. So so this one got knitted twice, and well, knitted back and forth as well, and it's the same with this one. I've nearly finished sleeve number 2 as well. In the pattern they're actually knitted straight on, but you know, it's much easier just to travel around with a ball of yarn in a thing like this than to knit a sleeve that's attached to the whole garment. I think I'd rather do it this way and sew it on than knit sleeves while they're attached to the whole garment. That just involves wrangling the whole cardigan whilst knitting a small circumference, which is just not fun for me. Anyway, so I shall shortly have this cuff the same length as the other one, and then maybe I can make an assessment about how much more length I need to add, if any at all. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, as I say, this has been iterative because I've also, so I got up to this point on the sleeve and the stitch count was incorrect, and I looked back and realised I'd done one of the decreases incorrectly way back down here, and so I just decided to pull it out. I know some people would just fudge that, but to me it's like a sticking plaster. The sooner you rip it back and just correct it, the better. And I guess I have a high tolerance for ripping things back, as you may have already worked out. So yeah, that's where I am with my Lieve Milena cardigan. My knitting content is probably not going to be terribly exciting because that's pretty much what I'm knitting on, unless I decide to cast on a pair of socks or something. But I don't think I need to. I think one of the things I spoke about before was that this has an element of plain knitting and an element of fancy knitting, and that's just working out really well for me. So yeah, and there are so many jobs around the house to catch up with and interesting things to do in the garden. Here comes Marshall. That I don't think working on this is going to be, I'm probably not going to give it that much time over the next few weeks. So I'm just going to keep plugging away at that. You will see this again. Anyway, it's been so nice to catch up with you and chat with you. I hope you'll say hi in the comments below and let me know what you've been working on as well. And I hope you're having a good week, and I shall see you next time. Cheerio.